I stood at the edge of my childhood home, the familiar creak of the gate echoing like a distant memory in my mind. The house loomed before me, its peeling paint and overgrown garden a testament to time's relentless march. But it was the scent that struck me first, a heavy, suffocating odor that wrapped around me like a shroud. I recognized it, not just from the past, but from the countless horrors I had encountered since I had last set foot here. It was the scent of denial. Years ago, I had been a pariah in my own family. My obsession with olfactory anomalies, the ability to track supernatural presences by their unique scents, was deemed insane and delusional. My mother's voice echoed in my mind, dripping with disdain, as she told me I'd disgrace the family. My father, a stoic man who believed in hard facts, had simply turned his back on me. And my siblings? They laughed openly, their jeers like daggers, each cutting deeper than the last. "You're wasting your life," they had said. "You'll lose your mind." But here I was, no longer the deluded fool they had painted me to be. I had become a renowned expert in paranormal olfaction forensics, a title I had clawed my way to amidst the shadows of disbelief. I had survived the unspeakable, faced the terrors that lurked in the corners of reality, and now I returned not just as a warning, but as a testament to the truth they had rejected. As I stepped inside, the musty air felt thick with the weight of their expectations, their judgments. The living room was just as I remembered. Faded pictures hung crookedly on the walls, and the couch sagged under the burden of history. My family was gathered, disbelief still etched on their faces, but curiosity flickered in their eyes. They could not ignore the accolades that had begun to accumulate around my name. They had heard the whispers of my success. "Look who's back," my brother scoffed, crossing his arms defiantly. "What, did the ghosts finally give you a medal?" I let the silence hang heavy for a moment, then replied, "You might say I've brought something much more valuable." I could feel the weight of their skepticism, but I was no longer afraid. They had made their choice, and now they would face the consequences. "Why are you really here?" my mother asked, her voice trembling slightly. "You know we don't believe in this nonsense." "Then you'll want to pay attention," I said, my voice low and steady. I reached into my bag and pulled out a small vial, the contents swirling with a sickly, iridescent hue. "This is an essence I've extracted from a recent investigation. It captures the scent of despair, the kind that lingers in places where tragedy has unfolded." "Despair?" my sister laughed nervously. "Really? You're going to scare us with some potion?" I ignored her mockery and unscrewed the vial. The air around us shifted, thickening with an unnatural heaviness. I could feel the sense awakening, the ghosts of the past swirling around me, eager to join the conversation. "Do you smell that?" I asked, my heart racing. "It's the scent of something you've buried deep, fear, guilt, the weight of your disbelief. It's the smell of the souls trapped in the places you refuse to acknowledge." Their laughter faded, replaced by a palpable tension. I took a step closer, the vial held high. "This is your chance to see what you've ridiculed. I will show you the truth, and you will understand the cost of your disbelief." "Enough!" my father's voice cut through the air, but I could see the flicker of fear in his eyes. "Too late, Dad," I whispered. "You wanted to ignore it, but it's here now." With that, I opened the vial completely. The foul scent erupted like a dark cloud, filling the room with a rancid, putrid odor that clawed at our throats. My family recoiled, their faces twisting in horror as shadows danced along the walls, dark shapes emerging from the corners, drawn forth by the essence of despair. "Let them see," I urged, feeling a rush of power as the shadows coalesced into forms, anguished faces, twisted in agony, their wails echoing through the air. "This is what I faced, what you've denied. They are here because you refuse to acknowledge them." My mother gasped, tears streaming down her cheeks as the specters circled her, their mournful cries piercing the silence. My brother stumbled backward, his bravado shattered, and my sister clutched at her throat, choking on the acrid air. "Stop it, please," my father cried, his voice cracking with despair. "We believed you were crazy. We were wrong." But it was too late. The shadows surged, engulfing them in a wave of suffocating despair. I watched, my heart heavy yet resolute, as they confronted the very essence of their disbelief. They had mocked me, but now they faced the truth I had unearthed through my relentless pursuit. As the shadows began to recede, I felt the weight of their judgment lift. They were no longer the family that had cast me aside. They were now the lost souls, grappling with their own denial. When the specters finally dissipated, the room fell silent, the air clearing but still thick with the remnants of their fear. My family stood, shaken and pale, their eyes wide with the understanding of what they had invited into their lives. "I'm sorry," my mother whispered, her voice barely audible. "We didn't believe you." I nodded, the ache of vindication settling in my chest. "You did this to yourselves. I came back to show you the truth, but you have to live with the consequences of your disbelief." As I turned to leave, I glanced back at the faces I once cherished, now marked by the horror they had once ridiculed. They were no longer my family. They were the haunted, forever changed by the darkness they had chosen to ignore. I stepped out into the night, the scent of despair still lingering in my nostrils, a reminder of the cost of ignorance. Behind me, the house stood silent, filled with the echoes of regret, a testament to the shadows we invite into our lives when we refuse to acknowledge the truth. And as I walked away, I felt the weight of my own triumph press down on me. A chilling reminder that some truths are better left buried.